video vortex. And Jamie Spears' sign is Cancer, which is obviously very home-based, very family-oriented, even though apparently he cheated on her mom, but whatever.
Oh my God.
And I was like, okay, that makes sense. You want to like leave your family legacy, so you're giving your children your own name. And Lynn Spears is a Taurus, which is super lazy. And Jamie Lynn is the last girl, like she's the youngest. So I was like, okay, probably after Lynn Spears was spending so many hours thinking how she's going to call Brittany and how she's going to call the brother, Brian. And then she was like, you know what? With that last one, I can't be bothered thinking anymore. I'm just going to name her like my own name. I'm just going to be lazy and Taurus. So I feel like a Cancer and a Taurus. Well, it's a perfect fit that they call their girl after their names. And we're going to talk about a little bit, sorry about my my rant.
I was going to say all of this information, like where will this sit now in your brain, this Wikipedia vortex of information about Jamie Lynn Spears?
Listen,
now you've inflicted that upon the listeners of this podcast, which is positive.
Well, I think everyone should know that. And I have also a lot to say about Fifth Harmony and the way they split, but I'm going to keep it for another episode.
It's Mars retrograde, you got to hold that tongue.
Yeah. But we will teach you some basic astrology today. Maybe not even basic, maybe a bit more.
Advanced.
Because we're looking at home and where we come from and how can we learn about that from astrology.
Yeah.
And we talked about stars and we talk about planets and signs, but we never mentioned on our podcast the houses. Your natal chart is also divided into houses. There are 12 houses that correlates with the 12 signs. So each house is ruled by a sign. The house that will tell you more about your family and your roots is the fourth house. The fourth house is ruled by Cancer. As we know, it's the sign of home and family. And if you look at your chart, you can go to a website like astro.com or Astrology Cafe or a few. Get your chart done and you'll see the fourth house. You will see two things. One, where is it on the cusp? So which sign is on the cusp of that house and which planets are in that house. Some houses will be empty. Some houses will be full of one planet or more, but that will give you a taste. For example, my fourth house is under the cusp of Taurus, and it has Venus in it. So if you look at my home and my family, you can see that Venus is a very feminine planet that has a lot to do with femininity. And it suggests that I would be really close with female figures in my family, mom, grandma, aunties. It will also mean that my house will be a very comfortable place because Venus is about beauty and comfort. And so usually it means that your house will be a pleasant place for people to come to. It's really cool to learn about your family and your relationship that you have with them based on that. So, for example, if you see that Mars is in your fourth house, Mars is about masculinity and aggression, it might suggest that, you will have some unresolved issue with your father or that you will be a bit restless next to your family members. It will be that maybe your family is very creative when there's a lot of, things going on in your house. There's a lot to learn from that and from also the cusp. So which sign is ruling it? My sign is Taurus and it's also ruled by Venus. So again, all these good food, good things that are physical. So
wow, what a house.
What a house. There's also negatives, but we won't get into them.
Never. I don't even think I actually have any planets in my fourth house.
You don't.
So
I checked your sign.
So I don't know what that means.
Well, I think when I was looking at both of our charts and I saw that you don't have planets there, but you do have Cancer ruling the fourth house, which is its natural placement. And I have Venus in Taurus. I think that what I can learn from that, and knowing both of us as well, is that we kind of make our home wherever we go. Because I know for me, wherever I go, I kind of make it my home. And even when we both of us went to Thailand, we were for 12 hours in the lounge in the airport. It did feel like home,
It did. The milk sandwiches.
They gave us milk sandwiches. They yelled at us for sleeping.
Yeah, that felt like home.
Yeah,
to
I was
me.
like, yeah, that's a
conflict and angst. And I guess we're also both Jewish as well. So, you need to be able to get on the move or be able to run pretty quickly when you're from this background, or that's how I was brought up. So don't get too comfortable. No matter what planets are in your fourth house, that house can be destroyed at any stage. So it's good to have some roller skates or a skateboard or jetpack or whatever it is that you need to kind of, or to be able to dissociate, whatever you need to kind of exit quickly. So that's the fourth house.
Yeah, and it really made me think, because I really lived in like 20 different houses in my life, and with crazy roommates and crazy partners. And for example, when I was living in Jerusalem, in a room that was literally the size of a toilet cubicle in a club, and I had just a bed there and a big pillow that I would sit on. And my roommate was a Pisces, and he was always smoking weed, which I'm like, you're a Pisces, why smoking weed? Like, you already high all the time. You're already in your little bubble or whatever it is. But he was smoking weed all the time, which is, again, I don't understand. People, if you're a Pisces and you're smoking or you're using any recreational drugs, it's just a waste of time. Just tap into your energy, in your crazy energy, and do that. It's like, literally like Alice in Wonderland before entering Wonderland, saying, wait, I'm going to take this bottle and go and shrink myself. But before, I just want to do acid just to make it crazier. But he was like stoned all the time. And I would come back home and I would find people locked in the house because he forgot. He was chilling with a friend. He left the house and these friends would just be locked in my apartment for hours.
My mind is still fixed on the fact that it was a tiny cubicle, toilet-sized room, but you had a massive pillow.
Yeah, I had the huge pillow.
Can you explain a bit more about what did the pillow represent, or what was that about?
It was like a human-sized pillow that could also be used as a couch. It's kind of like a poor people thing. And I had a bed, like a gallery, but I couldn't sit up straight on it. If I would sit up on my bed, my head would touch the ceiling. But if I would stand up under the bed, I would touch the bed. So there was no space in my room in which I could stand up tall or sit up. So I had this huge pillow in which I could just lie down on or sit on.
But because, your fourth house being so...
It's true.
So harmonious, like you were just fine with that.
But that's the thing, that if you look back, that was the apartment that I really suffered in the most, I think, because I missed that comfort a little bit in the house, in which other, apartments, I would just buy a flat TV. Like, I would spend my whole salary to buy like a huge TV. I would never use it, but it would meant something to me that it's there. And it's Venus as well. It's like materialistic, kind of pretty.
So that pillow was really...
That pillow was, in a way, a companion. And yeah, well, it's still at my parents' house. And I think about it every now and then. What else can we say about the fourth house and home and the experience of being Jewish in this world?
Being Jewish in this world. Well, I think probably it's best not to touch too much on being Jewish in this world because I like to keep it light. But I was reminded, similarly to the song Jenny from the Block, which is that beautiful song about never forgetting your roots. I was out dancing with some friends the other weekend and, pretending to be the real J.LO, living my best life or trying to.
Sure was.
And I was there with a friend and he had his new boyfriend there who is from Germany and is also a Scorpio. So, bad news bears. And I was painstakingly reminded of my own roots during a weird instance with his boyfriend. So I was just dancing and trying to dance as best as I can, which sometimes is a bit of a hot mess or just a mess. And I was kind of like raising my hands to the roof because I was trying to keep up with the young kids a bit, and the beats.
They're so energetic.
They got so much dynamism. So I was like, okay, well, I can't move my feet in the way that they do, but maybe I could just pump my hands up in the air and no one will notice that I'm really out of place in Collingwood of all suburbs, not my block of Caulfield.
What a cool suburb.
Yeah, not where I'm from, for those out there who don't know. So I'm raising my hands to the roof and this young 22-year-old German who I had just met, he started looking at me with like a mixture of like laughing and disgust and confusion. He goes, "Oh my God, you cannot do that. You cannot do that." And I was like, what do you mean? He goes, so he said he thought I was doing the Heil Hitler sign. And he said, "You can't do that. It looks like you're doing Heil Hitler." And I'm like, "What?" I'm like, "Excuse me, sweetie." And I'm pretty sure I said sweetie, which made me feel even older than I am.
Oh my God.
And I was like, I'm Jewish. I'm not doing that. And that's just,
Wow.
I was really painfully reminded that, wow, you might forget your roots for a brief minute, but others won't. And then he looked at me with his little devilishly handsome blue eyes and he gave me this big 22-year-old, angsty, cute hug and was like, "Oh, I'm so sorry for what my people did to your people," and then kept dancing and, pashing his boyfriend at the time. So it was a really weird experience. Itaya, you were also there as well.
I was there, sipping on Patron on ice, as I like Mariah Carey. And I must say for our listeners that Karen was definitely not doing that Heil Hitler.
No, I would never.
Not even as a, self-Jewish joke or whatever you can call it. You were just dancing. I think you danced really well. And that guy obviously was projecting, or maybe he wanted to do it and he couldn't, so he was blaming you for doing it. I don't know. But all I know is that, just like Jenny from the block, we carry our home and we carry our roots with us.
We're fooled by the rocks that we've got.
Yeah. And people sometimes are fooled by the rocks that we got, but it's our job to tell them, I'm still Jenny from the block. I'm still that Jewish girl that would never do anything like that. That's why I do encourage you, before we sign off, to go into your chart, see what's on the 4th house, what's on your roots, what's on your base, where are you coming from, and learn a little bit more about yourself. So we hope you enjoyed this little episode, and we're definitely going to see you soon.
Yeah, and please keep sending us messages on Instagram. We're Instagram or Facebook, whatever medium you use, or telepathically. I'll sense that because I'm staying at home during Mars and Mercury retrograde, so I'm around. Please send us your questions and your comments. We really love it. We'll always try and get back to you as soon as possible. None of it's evidence-based. There's no fact-checking. So don't take our advice too seriously.
But do.
But at the same time, do. Exactly. Like, what we say is gospel. But we've loved bringing another podcast to you. We'll see you next week again. And be kind to yourself during Mars and Mercury retrograde, and celebrate everything during the month of Leo as well.